Another type of question is quadratic form. The question may be given like this: cos squared x equals to 3 by 4. The first thing to do is to make it free of the square. We can write cos x equals to plus minus square root of 3 by 4. Remember, whenever you send the square to the other side, it has to be plus minus square root. If plus minus is not given, then half of the sum would be, the marks would be lost. Then you break it down. For cos x equals to plus root 3 by 4, which means root 3 by 2. That would be the first sum. So let's start. Step 1, quadrant. Cos x is positive, so that means CAST, all positive and cos positive, first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Then the basic angle, cos inverse of root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 means 30 degree. So cos 30 degree is root 3 by 2. That means this quadrant with the horizontal line is 30 degree. This quadrant with the horizontal line is 30 degree. Next step is the angle. So x equals to, first quadrant means the basic angle is the angle. So x equals to 30 degree. And this is in the fourth quadrant. That means 360 minus 30 is 330 degree. The sum is not done yet, and let me write it down. The range is between 0 to 360 degree. This is the most common range. After this is done, now we have cos x is minus square root 3 by 4. We scroll down. For cos x minus square root 3 by 2, that means the quadrant cos theta would be negative. So sine positive means cos negative, tan positive means cos negative. So this is the quadrant selection. Now the basic angle would be, remember, the absolute value. So while finding the basic angle, we will not take the negative value, we will just take square root 3 by 2. That basically means the basic angle would be the same regardless of positive or negative. So this would be 30 degree, this would be 30 degree. So now the answer. So this angle falls in the second quadrant. So this angle would be 180 degree minus 30, which is 150 degree. And this would be 180 degree plus 30 degree, which is 210 degree. Now we can select the answer. So previously we had 30 degree, then now we have 150, then we have 210, and we had 330 degree. All of these values, all four values, fall in 0 to 360 degree. So this is one of the question where we have a quadratic type of a question. Let's do a sum where we have a quadratic form that needs to be broken down using middle term break. So let's do an example. 2 tan squared x minus 3 tan x plus 1 equals to 0. Obviously we cannot just solve it by changing the square to the other side and making it a quadratic plus minus square root of something. This is something where we have to do middle term break. It's clear, it's something square minus something plus 1. Here always take the substitution to make the sum easier. Let tan x be a. So it becomes 2a squared minus thrice a plus 1 equals to 0. Now we can do middle term break. 2 ones are 2, so this would be 2a squared minus 2a minus a plus 1 equals to 0. If I take 2a common, it would be a minus 1. If I take 1 common, it would be a minus 1 equals to 0. So this would be 2a minus 1, a minus 1 equals to 0. Therefore a equals to half or a equals to 1. For now we have to get back to the sum tan x. So a equals to half means tan x equals to half. Now the sum begins. Step 1 is the quadrant. Tan x is positive. That means CAST, first quadrant is positive and fourth quadrant is positive. Then the basic angle x equals to tan inverse of half. Now it's not part of the common angle, so we have to use the calculator. Tan inverse of half, so tan inverse of half is 0.5. that means 26.6. so this would be 26.6 degrees. So the basic angle here is 26.6, and again with this horizontal line is 26.6. we know the basic angle now. Now the angle, so x equals to the first quadrant, the angle is the same as the basic angle 26.6, and x equals to 180 degree plus this is going to be 180 plus 26.6, which would be plus 180, 206.6. so this angle would be 206.6. the sum is not done yet because we have another part where we have tan x equals to 1. For tan x equals to 1, again this is positive, so first quadrant and third quadrant. We know this is a common angle. Tan inverse of 1 is 45 degree from the 45 degree triangle. So this is 45 degree and this is 45 degree. So in the first quadrant the angle would be the same, so 45 degree, and this would be 180 plus 45 degree, which would be 225 degrees. so this would be 225 degree. Now we can write down the answer. So the answer would be x equals to 26.6 degree, 45 degree, 206.6 degree and 225 degree. So these are the answer, and it's a good idea to write down the answer in ascending order, so from the smaller value first and later on the larger value. Another question is, will that be a problem if a little degree sign is not given like this? Well, that will not be a problem at all. This is an actual C2 question where we have this trigonometric equation in the quadratic form, and it's 6 marks. The difference is that instead of 0 to 360 degrees, we have 0 to 2 pi radian. If you remember the common angles in radian, 360 degree means 2 pi. Let's begin. 2 cos squared x plus 1 equals to 5 sin x. In order to do this, we have to make sure the entire sum is only in one identity. So cos square, by using the basic trigonometric identity that sin squared x plus cos squared x equals to 1, we can write cos squared x is 1 minus sin squared x. We can also write sin squared x is 1 minus cos squared x. So from here we can have 2, this is 1 minus sin squared x plus 1 equals to 5 sin x. So 2 minus 2 sin squared x plus 1 minus 5 sin x equals to 0. So we can write minus 2 sin squared x, 2 plus 1 is 3, so minus 5 sin x plus 3 equals to 0. We can take substitution. Let sin x be a, that would be minus 2a squared minus 5a plus 3 equals to 0. If we multiply both sides with minus, it would be 2a squared plus 5a minus 3 equals to 0. So by middle term break, 2 3s is 6, so 2a squared, we can write plus 3a plus 2a minus 3 equals to 0. This will not work because if we take a here, this is positive. If we take here, this is also negative, so this will not work. So let's get back. We have another option. We have the middle term, 2 3 is 6, 6 1s are 6, so 6a minus a. Now this will work. So if we take 2a common, it would be a plus 3. If we take 1 common, it would be a plus 3 equals to 0. So that means one of the factor would be 2a minus 1, the other would be a plus 3 equals to 0. Therefore a equals to half, or a equals to minus 3. Now you must remember the maximum value that sine x or cos x can have is 1. If you take a look at the common angles, you will see that the maximum value that sine x and cos x can have, it's 1, and the minimum value sine x or cos x can have is minus 1. Tan x can have any value, but sine x is more or less sandwiched between 1 and minus 1. Remember that. So this value will not be possible, so we can write for sine x equals to half. Now we need to solve this. Step 1 is quadrant. It would be positive, so first quadrant is sine positive, all positive. Second quadrant is sine positive, so this is the first quadrant and second quadrant. Then we do the basic angle, sine inverse of half. Sine inverse of half means this is going to be 30 degree opposite by hypotenuse. If you take a look at the common angles, you'll see that sine inverse of half, that means 30 degree, but we cannot write 30 degree because the sum is supposed to be in radian, in pi format. So 30 degree, if you have it memorized, is pi by 6. So the basic angle is pi by 6 here, pi by 6 here. So first is pi by 6, and the second one is, since it's in the second quadrant, it would be 180, which means pi minus basic angle pi by 6. So this would be 6 1 is 6 minus 1, 5 pi by 6. That means the answer is x equals to pi by 6, x equals to 5 pi by 6. So this is the sum.